Peace is the path to the prosperity of a nation. Let peace reign. On the news this evening, Governor Fubara swears in new commissioners, approves appointment of permanent secretaries. RISEC denies shifting local government elections. NLC criticizes federal government for delays in Port Harcourt refinery operations. On the foreign scene, Sudan begins peace talks. We'll go for a quick break. When we do come back to news in detail, just stay tuned. Back now, the news in detail. I am Kalada Kurubatobo. Rivers State Governor Siminalayi Fubara has charged the newly sworn-in commissioners designate to defend the government. Governor Fubara gave the charge today, shortly after the 5 new commissioners and 2 new special assistants took their oath of office. He asked them to see the opportunity as a call to duty.
Finding yourself here is an opportunity for you to defend the government and also ensure that what these millions of people fought for is not in vain. Because of that standing, we're still standing, even in the face of little distraction. We're not bringing you on board to criticize or to abuse, because the only reason why the distractors are intensifying their shot is so that we will, at the end of the day, they want to see results. Help us to have enough ace in our report card.
Governor also charged the commissioner-designate representing non-indigents in the state, Sam Anya, to carry everyone along.
Ensure that the west, the east, the north is on the east place. Be a better so that people happy. And this support that from this now will increase. We need support.
The appointment of 6 permanent secretaries in the state civil service. Evans Joike said the permanent secretary for the EA, Antonia Aise, Dr. Olunari Uzoma Nwogu, Hioma Patience Raid Bombs, Iwizo Goni Gordon, and Chukuma Indudi Augustine. The statement said the newly appointed permanent secretaries will be sworn in by the governor on Friday, 16th August, in the state's Executive Council chambers. It said further details will be communicated directly to the new permanent secretaries. Moving on. A constitutional lawyer, Richard Wokuche, said a section of the Constitution gives Nigerians the right to seek legal redress in court if their rights are violated, regardless of party constitutions. Professor Wokuche's statement was in response to comments credited to Tony Okocha, claiming that courts lack the power to intervene in internal party matters. Professor Wokuche explained that claimants, Emeka Beke and others, approached the court to protect their rights. He said the court is legally empowered to hear and rule on the case.
Under the Chapter 4 of the Constitution, which deals with the fundamental rights, a person who feels that his rights have been affected is entitled to approach the High Court under Section 46 of the Constitution, and the court is constitutionally empowered to hear him and give appropriate order to protect his fundamental right which has been adversely affected or which is threatened. Notwithstanding what the party's constitution says, there has been this much talk about private party affair.
In the same vein, a lawyer, Idris Abayomi Shehu, says a court has the jurisdiction to intervene in the internal affairs of a political party if the party fails to adhere to its own constitution. Mr. Abayomi Shehu said this in an interview with our correspondent.
There are exceptions to that judgment of the Supreme Court which say no court should interfere in the internal affairs of a political party. The court will not allow that to overturn rule against the election of a set of persons who are acting as the executive of that party. Not even the party can cut short the terms as set down in the rules and regulations, especially that of the constitution of that party. So in that case, as it is in this case, as it was ruled on, definitely the court has the jurisdiction.
Recall that last November, the APC National Working Committee, led by Abdullahi Ganduje, dissolved the executive committees at all levels in Rivers State, led by Emeka Beke. The NWC then appointed a 7-member caretaker committee to run the affairs of the party for the next 6 months. The committee to conduct a fresh comprehensive electoral membership registration in the state and prepare for the conduct of Congress's party at various levels from the ward to the state. In another development, the Rivers State Independent Electoral Commission, RISEC, has refuted claims that the local government election scheduled for 5th October will be postponed until a court is lifted. In a statement signed by the chairman of RISEC, retired Justice Osanili, the commission clarified that it has never issued any statement indicating that elections will take place as scheduled. Justice Osanili advised the public to note that the local government election timetable remains unchanged and the election date will not be shifted. In other news, the chairman of the Civil Rights Council and coordinator of the End Bad Governance, Dimwa Dumka, has warned that if the government does not address their demands by October the 1st, they will return to the streets in protest. Ms. Dumka, in an interview with correspondent Emeka Otuka, said they are expecting changes in some key sectors of the economy from now to October the 1st. He said Nigerians are suffering from hunger under the current administration of President Bola Tinubu.
His next line of action is that we are going to protest October 1st if the president did not listen to our demand. If the president did not meet any of our demands, if the refinery did not work before October 1st, we will go on the street again. That this one will be for 1 month. And most of these people sponsoring anti-protesters we will start from their gate. Their gate will be the meeting point. In Port Harcourt here, their gate will be the meeting point. Now is not the time to tell the president that you are on ground. What the president needs is technocrats that can offer solutions to Nigerian problems, not people that will come and tell him they are on ground.
Prominent national figures have continued to criticize the proposed House of Representatives bill that would impose a 10-year prison sentence on those who refuse to recite the national anthem. The bill, sponsored by Speaker Tajuddin Abbas, is set for its second reading, where its general principles will be debated. The bill stipulates that anyone found guilty of destroying national symbols, refusing to recite the national anthem, and pledge defacing a place of worship with intent to incite violence or undermining the federal government shall face a fine of 5 million naira, a 10-year prison sentence, or both. The bill also states that anyone who sets up an illegal roadblock, performs unauthorized traffic duties, imposes an illegal curfew, or organizes an unlawful procession will be subject to a fine of 2 million naira, 5 years in prison, or both upon conviction. Reacting to this, a Nigerian activist, Aisha Yusufu, tweeted on X that she will choose 20 years in prison rather than sing the new national anthem. Similarly, in a tweet on X, the former Minister for Solid Minerals, Obiageli Ezekwesili, said whenever and wherever the national anthem is called, she will sing the old anthem. She said the bill, known as the Counter-Subversion Bill, has shown how unserious and irrelevant the lawmakers are to the Nigerian condition. We'll go for another commercial break. Still to come, NLC criticizes federal government for delays in Port Harcourt refinery operations. Do stay tuned.
on 92.3 Nigeria Info.
Welcome back. Now, the rest of the newscast. The zonal chairman of Pengassin, George Nwoke, says rehabilitation and construction work at the Port Harcourt refinery is 90% complete based on his most recent visit to the facility. Mr. Nwoke told correspondent Subi Oruwari that he is optimistic that Port Harcourt refinery will soon become operational.
My last visit to the refinery, what is going on up to about 90% completion. But there are some bottlenecks. Tell you that from my last visit, the refinery rehabilitation is 90% completed. Total overhaul, the total rehabilitation. At the stage they are now, they are almost at the stage of starting up the refinery, meaning that the change of parts have been completed, the test run have been done. It's just some little hiccups from the heating agent that they are still trying to fine-tune. But I can tell you for free, within a couple of weeks, I will be put up on that refinery.
Mr. Nwoke, however, spoken some of the challenges facing the refinery, noting that fluctuations in the cost of petrol may persist even after the refinery is up and running.
Which ordinarily should have been to the pipeline from the export zone. But we have to cover, well, no choice. Those are additional costs you incur in transaction. We start to cargo crude oil from that place to the refinery. You add to the cost of refining, and this will also add to the cost of the product. Product is being imported. The rate of the cost of importation affects the end users' prices. So you can't just say this is the exact price. It's not being driven by private sector. And NPC is still the one supervising the whole oil and gas. So they have to be held responsible.
In the meantime, the chairman of the Nigeria Labour Congress NLC in Rivers State, Alex Agbanwa, has expressed frustration over the federal government's repeated delays in the operational start date for the Port Harcourt refinery. Mr. Agbanwa said the union is aware that maintenance work at the refinery has reached an advanced stage, but they are concerned about whether the federal government will fulfill its promises.
And NFTs have come to make statements several times. So the refinery will work, so it will start to produce PMS. That promise has also been made recently, that this month of August. So for us, we don't believe in those promises again. We want to see it happen, and to a point, we're also aware that food have also been delivered to the refinery. So what we don't know is why the refinery cannot produce PMS and other products up to now. So we are hopeful that, as they promised again this August, that the refinery will work. It is very important that the government stand by their promise and make sure these refineries work.
Mr. Agbanwa also explained that the prolonged non-operation of the Port Harcourt refinery has negatively impacted some union members who rely on the refinery for their livelihood.
We are very hopeful that the Port Harcourt refinery, as promised, will start working, because our members are also suffering. We have knowledge that close to about 5,000 people that depend on that refinery for survival. For the period of this period, these persons are unemployed. So imagine when that refinery starts working, 5,000 persons being engaged, or more than that. Also reduce the level of unemployment. All members here, both IPMAN, IMB, Sutakev, Oil Gas Supply, because of non-workability of that refinery, they cannot earn a living for their family. So the impact is so much that we are also worried.
The NLC chairman also spoke on the reasons behind the continued fluctuations in the cost of petrol per litre in the market.
Well, the price going up and on is not far from the issue of, say, Asaba and Asante Excellence. They have businessmen, marketers who get these products, and they have no choice than to sell based on what you bought. If the importation price, the landing cost is higher, you expect the marketers and distributors to also do the same thing. So it is based on the cost of the cost of buying these products that determines how they sell it to.
Our correspondent reports that petrol prices now range from 870 naira to 900 naira per litre at most filling stations that are open for business in the Port Harcourt metropolis. It was also observed that more than 50 tankers are parked along the Abunima Wharf axis of Diob, where a tank farm is located. However, it remains unclear whether the tank farm has products available for sale to marketers. The cost of cooking gas has risen again just 2 months after it was reduced due to the temporary availability of the product. Our correspondent reports that 1 kg of cooking gas, which was sold at 1,100 naira to 1,050 naira 2 months ago, now sells for 1,300 naira to 1,400 naira. Two gas truck drivers in Port Harcourt told correspondent Soibi that the Nodo currently has the product in stock. They are
I don't buy 90 days. So the long one, how the ship come, that small ship come last 2 weeks ago. So even the ship don't finish. So I'm waiting for another ship. People who have been getting buy keep for the tank 90 they still know them small.
That's the fact. The no one brings that. Even if you have to now, you know that is a very dangerous something. That is the reason why that is the fact now. Because everybody is selling package in one side now.
Meanwhile, a gas vendor in Port Harcourt who confirmed the recent price increase explained that he is unsure of the reasons behind the hike.
Well, 1,250. That's what I can't be saying now because at the depot, the price has also gone up at the depot. When the price has gone up at the depot now, so it also affects with the buyers. 20 metric tons is over 20 million now. That's where we are buying from. So for now, that's what they are seeing. Their price has gone up. So I don't know what could be the problem.
We'll go for another commercial break. When we come back, we will take a look at the international scene. To stay tuned. Looking at the international scene, fresh peace talks aimed at ending Sudan's 16-month war have started. However, none of the warring sides have entered the negotiating room. The army said it will boycott the talks several days ago, while the paramilitary Rapid Support Forces RSF delegates went to Switzerland, but at the last minute said they would stay away. The US, which is leading the talks, insisted the event continues, saying that they're going to do everything to end the crisis in Sudan. Fighting between the army and the RSF has killed thousands and driven about 10 million people from their homes.
This is the news on 92.3 Nigeria Info.
A recap on the news this evening. You heard Governor Fubara has sworn in new commissioners and has approved the appointment of 6 permanent secretaries. We also told you RISEC has denied shifting the date for local government elections. NLC has criticized the federal government for the delays in the operations of the Port Harcourt refinery, and on the foreign scene, Sudan has started peace talks aimed at ending Sudan's 16-month war. The news was edited by Martha Okere. To reach the news team, send an SMS or WhatsApp to 0808 721 7215. I am Kala Dakuru Batbo. Good evening, stay tuned.